Using the Insta360 camera for virtual tours. The Insta360 camera is great for virtual home tours when the seller doesn't provide a 3D tour link. A 3D tour link like Matterport offers extra features that you won't be able to do with the Insta360 camera, like show floor plans and measure spaces. So use your 360 camera as an alternative to the Matterport virtual tour. If your buyers can't visit the neighborhood, you can use your 360 camera to do some quick video of the neighborhood, local parks, or schools. Keep these community videos for future clients and advertisements as a community expert. Here's what you need to do in order to conduct a virtual home tour with the Insta360 camera. I'm going to show you how to buy and set up the equipment. Then you're going to record the virtual tour at the house that they want to see. And then finally, you're going to use Google Meet to show them the property, and you're going to show them the property in the Insta360 Studio software. Buy and set up the Insta360. As of this writing, the newest version of this camera is the Insta360 X4. It provides up to 8K resolution, which is awesome. But right now, 4K resolution is more than enough for these virtual home tours. So there's no need to purchase the newest model if you don't want to. I own the X3 and it works great. You can buy the Insta360 camera on Amazon, which makes it easy to buy and return if necessary. That's where I bought mine. I also recommend getting an extra battery, the invisible selfie stick, and a Pro or high-speed 128GB or larger micro SD memory card. You might want to buy one of the kits that come with all of these items together and a carry case, but make sure not to overpay or buy from an unknown source. We provide an affiliate link to Amazon to purchase the Insta360 below. Here are the setup instructions once you get your camera. First, charge the battery completely before turning it on. You should always charge lithium-ion batteries all the way before you start using them. I've got 2 batteries and this dual charger to make sure I always have an extra charge battery wherever I go. They can take a while to charge, so be prepared. Next, download and install the Insta360 phone app from the iOS or Google App Store. Also, download and install the Insta360 Studio to your PC or Mac. You can find these for your camera model at www.insta360.com/download. You won't be able to edit 360 videos in most video editing apps, so use this free one from Insta360. You'll use the Insta360 Studio software to show your clients your finished video. Don't worry, you won't need to do any editing. We're simply using the software as a video player, which cuts out the steps like editing and publishing. We'll show you how to do all this in a few minutes. Once you have these apps installed on your phone and computer, open them up and create a user account. Provide information about the camera so you will be ready to connect your camera and edit your footage. You can do this while the batteries are charging. Now let me show you around the camera. These are the 2 lenses, one in the front and the other in back. Together they film a 360-degree bubble. The front of the camera is where the Insta360 logo is, at least on this X3 model, or on the opposite side of the LCD screen. This is good to know so you can face the camera in the primary direction that you want to film, since it records from both lenses. For example, when you film the front of the property, you'll want to face the primary lens towards the front door. Make sure to keep the lenses from getting scratched. I use this cover whenever I'm not using the camera. The battery is placed in a larger 2-hinge slot right here. This is also where the micro SD memory card goes. Add the SD card first. It slips in face up in this slot. Push it in all the way until it clicks in place. To get it out, push it down to release it and then pull it out. Be gentle with your SD card. It can be fragile. Once your battery is charged, slide it into this slot until both hinges click and it's fully seated in the camera. To remove the battery, squeeze both of these hinge levers towards each other until it releases and slides out. The door above the battery is for an adapter that you can use to add a wireless microphone like Rode mics. The Insta360 has built-in speakers that work pretty well, but it captures ambient sound. You can also use Apple AirPods via Bluetooth as a wireless mic. If you use AirPods, you don't need to connect an adapter. If you're doing this virtual tour for a buyer, you don't need a microphone because you will walk through the home with the buyer using Google Meet. The Insta360 camera is simply there to provide a 360 view of each room as you talk about it in Google Meet. That makes this video for these tours quick and easy. If this is your listing and you want to promote the home with a full video tour and your comments as you record that video, I'll create another how-to video for listings. As a buyer agent, you cannot do promotional videos without written permission from the seller and seller agent. These quick 360 recordings will remain private and only be seen by your clients. Now screw in your selfie stick to the bottom of the camera, which should also have a 3-leg stand so it can stand on its own. The cool thing about this selfie stick is it will not show up in the video. That's why they call it an invisible selfie stick. On the side opposite the battery is the power button, at least on the X3 model. You may have to review your camera manual if you have a different model. Once the fully charged battery, SD card, and selfie stick are added, go ahead and turn your camera on. If you have an LCD screen on your camera, it will display what the front lens sees. You will also see the default settings for filming on the screen. As you can see here, mine shows HDR, which is in this video icon, 5.7K/30. This means the camera is set to film active HDR video at 5.7K resolution and 30 frames per second. Next to the shot mode is the selfie icon. You can click this to change which lens shows on the LCD screen and becomes the primary lens. The circle button below the screen is the record button. You can record from the camera or the phone app. Now let's go through some of the preferred settings for a home tour. As a side note, there are lots of really cool things this camera can do beyond what I'm going to show you. I included a YouTube link below that goes into more detail about all the options you may want to consider beyond these virtual home tours, so check it out when you can. Going back to the settings for these virtual tours, here's what I want you to do. If your camera went to sleep, press the power button until it clicks and it will turn back on. It may take a few seconds. This is a feature so you don't waste your battery when you're not using it. Click the camera icon on the LCD screen and you will get a video window that looks like this. At the top is a 360 and single lens toggle. This lets you film in 360 or with a single lens. For these video home shows, we're going to stick with the 360 option. The icons below the video title represent the different video and picture modes. You can swipe these left or right to change the selection. Active HDR, this icon with the HDR, is good when you have lots of natural light. For evening tours with lower lighting, I'd like to use the regular video option at 25 frames per second. You should test your camera in both lighting situations so you have a good idea how it will turn out. You won't be able to adjust the lighting later unless you learn how to use Adobe Premiere. At the bottom right of the screen is the resolution and frame rate. It probably shows 5.7K and 30. You can click on these numbers to make changes. For now, leave it at 5.7K resolution and 30 frames per second or whatever the default is for your camera. Keep in mind, the higher resolutions will create larger files. You can play around with these settings when you have time to test the different options. Your screen should now display the view of the front camera lens. Wake it up by pressing the power button if it goes to sleep. Now swipe down on the top of the screen to see more menu options. I'm only going to show you a couple of these options to keep this simple, so make sure to view the YouTube video that we provided below or in the materials section for other options when using this camera beyond these virtual tours. The bottom right icon is the settings icon. Click on this and scroll down a bit until you see the video sharpness. I want you to change the video sharpness to medium. Now scroll down a little further and find the SD card option. If your card is new, go ahead and hit the format button. Now make sure you don't have anything saved on this card that you want to keep because formatting will delete all files. You should have a dedicated micro SD card for your Insta360 camera and then use this formatting feature to provide optimal performance of the card. Now we're going to connect your camera to your phone. You don't have to control your camera with the phone app, but I love this option. Make sure your phone has Wi-Fi turned on even though you don't have to connect to a specific Wi-Fi. The camera and the phone will create their own connection. When the phone and camera connect for the first time, you might be prompted to update the firmware. Make sure to keep the camera firmware updated. Now that your phone app is connected to your camera, look for the black circle camera icon on the bottom center of the screen and click on that. You should see what your camera sees. Now swipe your screen left, right, up, and down and notice how the camera is catching everything in a 360 view. Now hit the red record button on your phone and record the room you're in for about 10 seconds or so. Stop the recording and go back to the album icon just to the left of the camera icon to view the video you just recorded. If your SD card is installed and you made a recording, you should be able to play it from your phone. This is just for practice. Now let's do a test at your home or office. Take your camera outside and start recording in the front of your place. You can use the record button on your camera or with your phone app. Walk around at a normal pace with the primary camera facing forward. Try to keep the camera around 4 to 5 feet or chest high and out in front of you. Without stopping the recording, walk inside. And now walk around the property, setting the camera down in key spots for a few seconds and then step away. Do not stop and start the recording. You're going to create one video for the entire property. If the room is large, you can set the camera in more than one location. Just don't set it against a wall or a window so it can capture the room in 3D without obstructions behind it. This is how you're going to record the homes for a virtual tour, and each home should take about 20 minutes. The nice thing about this recording is you can open every closet door and go into every room. Remember, when watching the final video, you'll be able to pause the recording and still pan around the room, so there's no need to record each room for more than a few seconds. When creating Insta360 video tours for your buyers, these tour recordings should be really quick. You can record a whole house in less than 20 minutes. You want it to be quick so the video file size isn't too big and so you can film several properties. If you recall, you can pause the 360 video and still pan around the room. Because of this feature, you only need to record for about 10 seconds in each room or area. You'll review your Insta360 video with your buyer through Google Meet, so you can take all the time you need to talk about the room or space by pausing the video where needed. Here are the steps to recording the video. As I said before, try to keep the camera about 4 to 5 feet off the ground or about chest high, depending on how tall you are, and keep the main lens facing forward. On the X3, this is the lens on the opposite side of the LCD screen. But don't fret too much about the height and direction of the camera since it films in 360. This height and position rule keeps your videos consistent, but unlike a fixed frame video, like on your phone, you don't have to worry about a shaky video or where the camera is pointing. You will film each room by setting the camera down in the middle of the room, or if it's a large space, find a couple of places to set the camera. For example, in a large kitchen, you may want to set the camera on the island and then on the table. This way, it's easier to take a closer look from different locations in a large room. To make this home tour as simple and quick as possible, you're not going to start and stop the recording when at a property. The free editing software won't let you string together a series of recordings anyway, so it's best to record the whole house in one recording. However, don't worry if the camera stops and you end up creating more than one recording for that property. You'll still be able to show these recordings to your buyer in the Google Meet meeting without an issue. So, 1, don't stop the recording. 2, don't worry about you being in the view of the camera. And 3, don't feel that you have to say anything unless it's something that you really want to point out that's really important. You'll be able to elaborate on the home and rooms during the Google Meet meeting. Enter through the front door just like you would during an in-person tour and walk from room to room and up and down the stairs. Find a good central location in each room to place the camera, step back and let it record for a few seconds, and then go to the next room. You can go into every room, bathroom, basement, garage, and backyard just like you would if you were there with the client. The only difference is you don't have to stop and discuss the spaces. You'll do this in your Google Meet video conference with the buyer. Part 3, Step 3, showing your 360 videos to your buyers. The Insta360 Studio software is the easiest way to view and publish your 360 home tour videos. The nice thing is you can show these properties that you filmed to your buyers directly from the software. You'll be surprised how quick and simple this process is. Here's what you need to do. Power off your Insta360 camera and pull out the battery. Remove the micro SD card and connect it to your computer that has the Insta360 software installed. You may need an adapter to read this micro SD card. Since my laptop has a standard size SD card slot, I use this adapter sleeve that usually comes with most micro SD cards. There are also USB and C-port SD card adapters that are compatible with PC and Mac computers. Something like this. You can buy these adapters from Amazon. Just search for a micro SD card reader for a PC or Mac. Make sure your computer or laptop has the correct connection, like USB or C-port. We provided some options from the Amazon affiliate link below. Open the Insta360 Studio software on your computer and click the Open Files button. Navigate to your SD card and find the folder with the LRV and INSV files. These are the Insta360 video files. Each property will have its own set of files. Highlight these files and click Open. If you have lots of recordings on your SD card, you can sort by date and just pick the ones that you need. Each property recording will have a separate video. Click on one video in the left margin and it will show up in the main screen. Click and move this main screen video and notice that you can pan around in 360 degrees. You can share these 360-degree videos directly from this view in your Google Meet meeting with the client. Use the square icon in the bottom right to display in full screen. Part 4, VR goggles and wrapping up. Imagine this. Your buyers want to see 10 properties and they agree that virtual tours would be very helpful. 4 of the properties have Matterport links. You don't have to make showing appointments to walk through these properties virtually because the 3D tour is already provided by the seller. You make appointments with the other 6 properties and take your Insta360 camera with you. You're in each house for about 20 minutes and you don't have to coordinate these visits with your client. Your Insta360 video does not require any editing or expert skills, but your clients don't know that. You look like a technology and media expert without having to be one. You walk through all 10 homes with your clients in an hour Google Meet video conference, and you're their hero. You save them an enormous amount of time, and if you provided invaluable insider information about each property that helps them make better informed decisions and strengthens their position as they consider an offer, you are an agent that dramatically exceeds their expectations. Your repeat and referral business is stronger than ever. Virtual tours are the future of real estate. Right now, it can be something that distinguishes you from other agents, but more importantly, it provides a better level of service to your buyers. The gap between two-dimensional pictures and visiting a home in person is significant, so buyers have been used to touring every home that they might want to see in person. This is a timely and expensive burden to those who don't live close to the area where they want to buy, but it also impacts local buyers. According to the NAR, the average buyer spends 10 weeks looking for homes, touring several dozen homes before they get an accepted offer. 3D virtual technology is this wonderful bridge between 2D pictures and in-person tours. Most buyers will still want to visit a property in person before making a final offer, and that's smart. But touring dozens of properties in person when 3D technology can take them most of the way there is no longer necessary or reasonable. To put the cherry on the sundae of your buyer services, show your clients how to use virtual goggles. I have a couple pairs of Oculus goggles that I use for my listing presentations, and sometimes I let my buyers borrow them so they can tour homes virtually from their home. It's as simple as opening an internet browser in the VR goggles and navigating to the virtual tour. This is done directly from a listing page with a virtual tour link. If you want to make your Insta360 videos available to view through VR goggles, you'll need to upload them to YouTube as a private video. Rather than go through these details here, we've included in the Materials tab a how-to video for the Oculus goggles and how to post your private 360 video to YouTube. It's easier than you think. Along with these additional how-to videos that go with this course, we've prepared a Cap Notes document that outlines everything that you've learned, with a checklist of what to do, start to finish. It also provides the entire script of this training. If you like this course, I invite you to check out the Ultimate Homebuyer Consultation course that will complete the puzzle of your high-value buyer services. We can help you close more buyer leads without the struggle of getting them to sign your buyer broker agreement just to get into a home. This isn't a sales approach. It's a presentation of services that are so impressive, they'll want to commit to you from start to finish. Because you completed this course, we're going to give you a discount code for that Ultimate Homebuyer course. Check it out below. See you next time. I'm Mike Anderson with Captivate Agent.